The internet has been rocked by a story that's both shocking and deeply disturbing. Cassie, once known as Sean Combs's longtime girlfriend, has come forward with some of the most harrowing details about her time with him. And now, she's revealed something so vile, so disgusting, it's hard to believe it even happened. We're talking about real-life horror dressed up in luxury and fame. For years, fans saw Cassie on red carpets, in music videos, and at high-profile events. But behind closed doors, things were far from glamorous. Her recent lawsuit against Diddy has opened the floodgates to a world of secrets, pain, and manipulation. As more people begin to understand the full scope of what she endured, one thing becomes clear. This isn't just another celebrity scandal. It's a powerful reminder of how easily power can be abused, especially in industries built on image and influence. In this video, we'll take you through everything Cassie has said, focusing specifically on the most stomach-turning act she described. An act so disturbing, it has left many speechless. Whether you've followed this story from the start or are hearing about it for the first time, prepare yourself. What we're about to discuss will change the way you see certain figures in entertainment forever. Cassie first captured the public's attention in 2006 when she released her debut single, Me and You, which quickly became a summer anthem. But before that, she was already making waves as a model, working with top photographers and fashion brands. Born Cassandra Ventura in New York and raised in Florida, she always had dreams of stardom. However, it wasn't until she signed with Diddy's Bad Boy Records that her life took a dramatic turn. Almost overnight, she became a household name, not just for her music, but for her relationship with one of the most powerful men in hip-hop. Their romance was highly publicized, often portrayed as glamorous and enviable. But beneath the surface, Cassie was navigating a complex and often toxic dynamic that few could have imagined. Now, years later, she's stepping out of his shadow to tell her truth. And the world is finally listening. When Cassie filed her lawsuit against Diddy in March 2024, it sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. The legal document detailed years of emotional abuse, sexual assault, and control that allegedly left her feeling trapped and powerless. According to the filing, she was subjected to non-consensual acts, manipulated into silence, and forced to live under constant surveillance. The lawsuit accused Diddy of using his fame, wealth, and influence to maintain dominance over her, creating an environment where she felt like a prisoner in her own life. One of the most damning claims involved being coerced into recording a sex tape that was later used to blackmail and humiliate her. She also alleged that he physically assaulted her during their relationship and repeatedly threatened her career if she ever spoke out. The legal action didn't just target Diddy. It named several associates who allegedly played roles in enabling the abuse. Since the lawsuit was made public, fans, celebrities, and media outlets have been dissecting every detail, trying to separate fact from fiction. But one thing is undeniable. Cassie has broken her silence, and she's not holding back. What Cassie has described as the most disgusting thing Diddy did to her goes beyond typical abuse narratives. It's a level of cruelty and humiliation that's difficult to process. According to her court documents and interviews, there was an incident where Diddy allegedly forced her to perform a degrading act in front of others as punishment. This wasn't just a private moment twisted by power. It was a calculated display meant to strip her of dignity and reinforce his control. The psychological impact of such an event cannot be overstated. Survivors of similar experiences often describe long-term trauma, anxiety, and a loss of self-worth. For Cassie, this moment may have marked a turning point. a realization that she was not just in a controlling relationship, but in a nightmare designed to break her spirit. What makes this revelation even more disturbing is the implication that others were present and complicit, either watching or participating without intervention. It paints a picture of a culture where exploitation is normalized, especially when power dynamics are skewed. This wasn't just about physical violation, it was about dominance, fear, and silencing someone's voice before they even had the chance to speak. As more people absorb these allegations, the question remains: how many others have lived through something similar but never had the platform or courage to come forward? Public reaction to Cassie's revelations has been nothing short of explosive. Within hours of her lawsuit becoming public, social media platforms lit up with outrage, support, and disbelief. On TikTok, hashtags like #BelieveCassie and #JusticeForCassie began trending, with users sharing clips, commentary, and personal stories of survival. Twitter/X exploded, with threads breaking down the timeline of events, analyzing past behavior, and calling out those who had previously praised Diddy without question. Instagram comments under old posts resurfaced, revealing how fans had romanticized the couple's relationship without understanding the reality behind the scenes. Celebrities who once celebrated Diddy publicly distanced themselves, while others voiced strong support for Cassie. Influencers and journalists joined the conversation, discussing broader themes of power, consent, and accountability. Even mainstream news outlets covered the case extensively, treating it less like a tabloid headline and more like a serious cultural reckoning. The shift in perception around Diddy has been dramatic, from a respected mogul to a figure facing intense scrutiny. Some fans are choosing to cancel his music and legacy, while others remain skeptical, caught between disbelief and the mounting evidence. Regardless of where people stand, one thing is clear: Cassie's story has sparked a movement that extends far beyond her alone. Diddy's name has long been associated with controversy, and Cassie's allegations are only the latest in a long line of accusations that stretch back decades. Over the years, rumors have swirled about his behavior, from wild parties filled with questionable conduct to whispered accounts of intimidation and coercion. There were reports of lawsuits that mysteriously disappeared after settlements, allegations of assault that never made headlines, and whispers among insiders about a pattern of abuse masked by luxury and fame. In the early 2000s, Diddy faced a high-profile trial after being charged with weapons possession and bribery following a nightclub shooting, though he was ultimately acquitted. More recently, multiple women have come forward with disturbing accounts of encounters involving Diddy, though many feared speaking out due to legal threats or financial repercussions. His lifestyle, flashy, excessive, and often shrouded in secrecy, created a veil that protected him from scrutiny for years. He was seen as untouchable, a kingmaker whose connections and influence shielded him from consequences. But now, with Cassie leading the charge, and others possibly preparing to follow, that veil is beginning to lift. The patterns are becoming clearer. A history of alleged manipulation, control, and abuse hidden behind a carefully curated persona. The entertainment industry has long tolerated, and sometimes even celebrated, figures like Diddy because of their success and charisma. But as society shifts toward greater awareness and accountability, the cracks in that facade are widening. This moment represents a larger cultural shift, one where survivors are no longer silenced, and powerful figures can no longer rely on fame or fortune to protect them from accountability. Cassie's decision to go public has reignited conversations about the prevalence of abuse in the entertainment industry and the systemic failures that allow predators to thrive. For too long, victims have been dismissed, disbelieved, or pressured into silence by legal teams, publicists, and the fear of retaliation. But now, with the rise of movements like #MeToo and the increasing willingness of survivors to share their stories, the tide is turning. Celebrities, influencers, and everyday people are demanding justice, transparency, and real consequences for those who abuse their power. The music and film industries, in particular, have been slow to address these issues head-on, but cases like Cassie's are forcing the issue into the spotlight. Lawsuits, public testimonies, and viral discussions are pushing institutions to reevaluate how they handle allegations of misconduct. It's not just about punishing abusers, it's about changing the culture that enables them. And as more voices join the chorus, the message becomes louder. Silence is no longer an option. Despite everything she's been through, Cassie has shown incredible strength in reclaiming her narrative. Speaking out was not easy. In fact, it was incredibly brave. But since going public, she's taken steps toward healing and rebuilding her life on her own terms. She's focused on therapy, advocacy, and reconnecting with her passion for music and modeling. Though her career stalled in recent years, many fans have expressed renewed support, eager to see her flourish outside of the shadow that once loomed over her. She's also become a symbol of empowerment for other survivors, proving that it's possible to find strength after trauma. While the legal battle continues, Cassie has made it clear that her goal is not just about herself. It's about exposing the truth and helping others feel less alone. She's inspired countless people to speak up, seek help, and believe in the possibility of recovery. And as she moves forward, she carries with her the weight of every woman who has ever been silenced by fear, shame, or manipulation. Her journey is far from over, but the path ahead looks brighter than ever. As we wrap up this discussion, it's important to reflect on what Cassie's story means for all of us. It's not just about one person or one case. It's about standing up for what's right, believing survivors, and challenging systems that protect the powerful at the expense of the vulnerable. If you found this video informative or impactful, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Let's continue having these conversations in the comments, on social media, and in our daily lives. If you or someone you know has experienced abuse, know that help is available. You are not alone. Thank you for watching. And remember, truth matters, and so do survivors.